everybody. What's going on? I just came on here to chat it up with you guys. I just had service this morning, which was phenomenal. It's raining here today. It's cloudy. It's gloomy, and I'm just chilling and relaxing. And I thought it would be a cool ideal to just sit and chat with you guys. We got some wonderful things coming up. I know you guys been seeing how active my page has been these last couple of days because we want to get the word out. We are having a New Year's Eve show. It's not going to be up until midnight because I'm going to watch night service. However, we are going to have a New Year's Eve hot topic show. You guys should see the banner on my page. I will also put it on my community wall so you guys can see the time. It's going to be at 6 o'clock. Queen Joy will be accompanying me on the show. And I just wanted to kind of sit and chat with you guys. I went through my channel today. I went through my channel today and I was just looking at old shows that I did. And just going over, looking to see the graphics and stuff like that and all that good stuff. And I stumbled across one show that I had did a recap of R. Kelly. And just watching that show, I'm like, this show was really, I enjoyed it myself. It was something to see that happen, guys, initially. Like he was the first of Pandora's box, should I say. And how I was just thinking back and going back and just looking at the information and how they knew about him 20 years ago and had evidential proof 20 years ago and still let this man operate and have a career and all this stuff. It just blew my mind. So, I went over that show. Of course, I revisited shows talking about Bay and stuff when we first started dating. I watched the two other shows that sorry about that, y'all. My other phone is ringing. Looked at my other shows that I had when he was on there, and I was like, oh, we was just so gooey and all in love. Even though we still are, but yeah, just going through my channel, and I admonish every content creator, go through your channel so you can see the growth, and see what you can do better, and see what you might want to repeat that was successful. So that I spent my time early this morning going through my channel, looking through stuff. So guys, and you all can give me your input. Give me your input on what you like and what you don't like on the show, what you would like to see on the show. And I am here for it. I am here for it. So let me tell you a little bit about the New Year show. It's gonna be Hot Topics. We're talking about Tyler Perry's new movie. We're talking about Shay and her fiance Fabo. And we're also gonna be talking about Ray J. I know y'all never in a million years thought that y'all would hear a story about Ray J on this channel. But we're diving into it because here lately, he's been in the media a lot. He's been on social media a lot. And he's kind of piqued my interest. And for some reason, when I look at him, when I see him on like different shows, of course, but when I just see him, like the paparazzi might catch him on the street or something, or just in general, he's piquing my interest because I want to really find out who this young man really is. And I know who he is. He's Brandy's brother. He's a singer. I know that. But I'm talking about just for real, like who is he for real? Who is he for real? Because he's always on. And people in the theater, guys, you all know what I mean when I say this. Ray J is always on. He's always in character. He is always in character. And I'm like, who is the real Ray J? I really need to get to know this guy because he, to me, is a mystery. He puts on so much. It's like, dude, just be yourself. You are talented. You're quite talented. But you ain't even tapping into that. Seems like you would have tapped into that talent instead of all these antics out here on social media. Seems like you would have tapped into your talent and developed yourself as an artist. You understand what I'm saying? And did what you had to do. You know what I'm saying? And become even more successful. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. But I really want to. I'm gonna do a little bit of digging before Tuesday get here. So we are having a New Year's Eve show, but it's not gonna be all night because I have a service at my church, and we're gonna be doing that. Guys, I'm getting old. I am getting old. I obligated myself to something this Saturday. The guy I had a show, and then I was just like, I'm tired. I can't do it. Y'all had those moments. Do y'all have those moments? I can say an old person. Well, I had an old person moment this weekend. I obligated myself to do something, and then I was like, then I was kind of forgetting to, get in touch with the person to tell them, hey, I ain't gonna be doing it. Then I just like, forget it. I can't go. I'm like, Lord have mercy, because I'm close to 50, y'all. I know I don't look it. I know. I'm getting there. I'm getting up there. So I decided I'm gonna chill today. I just had some good service, some good church talking about the God's love and how He loves us unconditionally. Man, I mean, service was really good, and it got the raining, and I looked outside. I'm like, let me go ahead and relax and chill. So I said, let me get on my channel and chill with my people. So we just chatted up today. We don't got no theme today. We just chatted up, and it's a good time to reflect on your life. This is the last Sunday of 2024. Everybody that come in here, know that your 25 gonna be the best. Know that your 25 is full of blessings. Know that your 25 is full of financial blessing. Know that your 25 is gonna be your best years. Know that. Know that. Let me give me a drink of water, y'all. I've been coughing. Let me get a drink of water. Hold on, y'all. Man, that water tastes good. I'm about to go get me some more bottles of waters out of my car. Ooh, that tastes good. Yeah, know that God got something for you in 2025. I cannot wait, guys. Y'all go and see my shorts because I put some graphics up of the new shows coming up on Queen to Queen. My co-hosts, they are excited. I was talking to my husband this morning, and I had shared with him a video, some information that I have found. He was like, that could go on YouTube. He's so excited. And guys, don't forget to like coming in and like going out, and don't forget to put your cash app. Because guess what? You never know who might come through and be a blessing. So yeah, I see y'all peeking in and coming in, those in the bushes and stuff. Just send some love, say hello, or goodbye, whatever. But we chatting it up. We are chatting it up today. Yeah, so I did some YouTube surfing, guys. I did some YouTube surfing. And apparently some papers came out. Now yesterday, shout out to Gene Deal. I watched Gene Deal show, a little bit of it. I was trying to watch a little bit of it. I think I fell asleep. And they were going over, I'm assuming, the court papers for Diddy. And part of the evidence in the court paper was the actual containers that they were putting the drugs in to drug the ladies. I said to myself, I know that they raided the house. I'm like, is this materials from the raid? You know what I'm saying? At this point, we just gonna pray for Diddy. Then they said it was like an update where he wanted a request to be, I guess, moved within the prison, to move to other area because he was having what they said a mental meltdown. I'm like, I can imagine you used to being in luxury all day and people waiting on you all day. You used to having money all day, and now you sitting up locked up in a unfamiliar environment. And people like that, they can't handle it. They have a mental break. So they say he was requesting to be moved to another area in the, I guess, in the prison to get some mental health. So everybody saying Jay-Z next. I don't know. They say Jay-Z in hiding. I don't think he just was at a movie premiere with his daughter. He ain't in hiding. However, they're talking shout out to Tisa Tales. Now Tisa Tales, this woman, I say to myself, is her videos like taped? I know she go live a lot, but she go live a lot. And it's like she coming up with updates and breaking news every day, every other hour. I'm like, I don't know, but she did one particular video that caught my attention, and people been giving her flack about it, and that was the evidential proof that there were mansions with U-shaped parking lots in 2003. And I think in 2000, yeah, 2000, there was a discrepancy in the time that the young lady gave, because the JG lawyers came out and said there are no mansions 20 minutes away from New York. However, Tisa Tell says there were in 2003. I want to say she said, or two. And everything that girl said, it matched up, but it matched up in the wrong year. So they went back into the court documents and amended some of the documents and kind of changed the dates and stuff. So Tisa Tells went back, and she went and found matches that were 20 minutes away, because Jay-Z Lawrence was like, how can she get to a gas station in New York within 20 minutes? She would have had to do this in a certain amount of time. And so Tisa Tells went back and found matches, white matches with a U-shaped parking lot, just like she described, that were 20 minutes away. I was like, wow. And then she said, then the victim said that Eminem said that Eminem was performing that night at the MTV Awards. Well, of course, the Jay-Z lawyers came out and said Eminem did not perform. They did not use a Megatron, Jumbotron to display the show. However, like I think it's 2 years before, a year before, Eminem did perform outside, and they did use it. So I'm thinking, because the victim is autistic, she might have got the timeline wrong. And that's understandable, because sometimes they get confused with space and time, the autistic. So the victim who accused Jay-Z is autistic. And so they thinking that she may have had a discrepancy in time when she did it. And then my thing is, why is she on national TV giving her testimony? She's already given her testimony in a court of public opinion, and any jury watching this, their mind is already contaminated. Like, the lawyer should not have never allowed her to get on national TV, because they're not going to take her serious now. When she was hid behind mystery, it was like, people was like 50-50, like, oh, maybe this is true. But when they saw her, now she looked like a nut job. And it's unfortunate, because the girl is autistic. So me being an educator, I understand autistic people. And sometimes they may get confused in time, or they may repeat themselves or something like that. Hey, Scorpio, how you doing? I said, number love your way. I'm just on here talking and chatting. And I've been YouTube surfing, so I'm just sharing what I have been seeing. And I'm just chatting it up, okay? Yeah, so the accuser for Jay-Z is autistic. And so everything that Tisa Tells said, it matched up to a different year. Everything that victim said, it matches to the T, but to a different year that she testified to. So, you traveling? That's right, because you're going to Florida. Please be safe. I want you to be safe, okay? But have tons of fun. So, it was amazing the way Tisa Tells broke that down. I ain't lying. It was amazing. And then she went back and got the legal proof. It got the legal justification in how the victim's lawyer, how he can maneuver and use that and still use a testimony. Because she's disabled, there's a law in place that says you can pull law judgments and law results from the state and apply it to a federal case if the person is disabled, and the woman is. You understand? Oh, I'm okay. I'm doing good. I'm chilling in the cut. I just got done with church, and it's raining, so I'm relaxing, chillaxing, and talking to y'all. Tune in if you can. Well, I know you're gonna be celebrating, but New Year's Eve we have the Hot Topics New Year's Eve show. It's not gonna be till 11 because I got church. So, but we will be there on Tuesday. We will be doing Hot Topics. I think my flyer is up, so you can see what we're talking about. So they can still use her testimony, even though the lawyers have discredited it and said, "Oh, that never happened in 2000 and dang, I forgot the year that she said it happened in." But whatever she said, it did not take place then, but it took place. Everything that this woman said, everything that this autistic woman victim said, all of the details of the show, it happened 2 years earlier or a year earlier. And then the dad told a reporter, I don't remember taking her, going nowhere and picking her up in that year. He said I would have remembered it if that happened. However, the man is suffering from dementia. So we know he can't remember like 2 years prior. Put it in the comment and I'll share you out. Or put it on the community wall and I'll share you out. Okay, I will. You talking about this show or you talking about the hot topics? I will. I'll put my banner. I'll put the flyer on my share it out on my thing. Yeah, and so I was tripped out. It was so weird. It was so weird how Tisa Tales connected the dots with this woman's testimony. I'm talking about point blank. Because certain mansions that was there. Okay, I will, Scorpio Mama. Certain aspects of this woman's testimony. So the attorney was like, "There's no mansions 20 minutes away from New Jersey because they was torn down. They was torn down, so they're not there anymore." And they said Diddy didn't own don't own no property in New Jersey. Didn't own no property in New Jersey in 2008 or whatever whatever the timeline was. However, a year later he bought a house there. No, he was renting. He was renting houses there. He didn't own, but he was renting for his parties and stuff. A year later, he ended up buying the house. So now he do, unless he sold them. It was just a matter of time. And the way Tisa Tales put that woman's testimony together, I believe that woman was telling the truth. I believe she's mentally ill and she's autistic and she got the timeline wrong. And they were saying that if she would have did this during this time, she would have been 13 years old. But if she would have did it 2 years later, she would have been close to 15, 16. So we can see that. We can see that. And girl, I was like, oh my God, it's a great possibility. And then they were talking about Jay-Z and his alleged son. Now I looked at the guy. I believe his story is credible. I do. However, just looking at him, yeah, he look like Jay-Z. He do. But I'm saying, I don't know if you think that is his son. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. I believe the story. I see that he's been persistent all of these years. They were saying that Jay-Z paid somebody to put a gun in his car so he get arrested. They were saying that Jay-Z was like harassing him, trying to get him to shut up. But somebody said on Vlad TV the other day, they said if this was not Jay-Z's son, why won't he just take a blood test to discredit it in private, just to discredit it at all? And I think they said at one time he tried to pay him off and the auntie wouldn't take the money. Because I don't think it's about money with this young man. I don't think it's about money. I think he just wants a father. I just think he wants him to be proven as his father. If I was Jay-Z, I would distract everybody with just going ahead and taking the test. Because people would be so interested in finding out if he was the father than focusing on this criminal case that's trying to come up against him. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if he was smart, he would go ahead and I would make a big old scene. We're going to finally see if this is my son or not. And people would be so engrossed in that, they will forget about the criminal charge. And then they'll just know Diddy going to keep one away. But they'll forget about his part. You understand what I'm saying? But he ain't smart at all. He's not smart. He ain't smart. And then so now, and then the lawyers are fighting back and forth. But Bugsby said that he got shown up evidence and proof, and whatever it is, it had to be credible enough because the judge has not dismissed the case yet. And it seemed like they're going to be moving forward to the court case in May. It seemed like that's what's going to happen. So evidently, Busby got enough proof to move forward with a case. Now, I don't know where all these other victims went, but the ones he got, it must be enough proof to go forward with this case. And that was quite interesting. And I've been paying attention. I ain't really do no story on it. Like I ain't do no story on Jay-Z part. I was covering Diddy updates, but it got so excessive. I just was like, I ain't got the energy for it because it's so much, it's so many moving parts to Diddy's story. It's so much proof and evidence against Diddy. It's ridiculous. And I think Jay-Z is allowing this to try to help Diddy, because if he can get proved innocent and he attached to this case, I think Diddy thinking this might help him and they may discredit the whole case and get it dismissed. But I can't see that with all the evidence that's against him. I can't see them totally dismissing the case. So maybe Jay-Z was trying to help his friend out by allowing him to come out with this and not settling in private. I don't know. We'll see. But it's going down. If they have not dismissed this case, if Diddy has not gotten off by technicality, if Jay-Z have not got discredited from this case, it's going down in May. And my thing is, and I say this all the time, and I said this in my R. Kelly show. I think I did share that on my community wall. So if y'all go back, y'all can watch that show how I talked about R. Kelly. And I talked about all of his cases from 1994 up until 2018, I think I did. We went through all those cases. Hey, Eat with Philly Phil. I said, number love your way, because guess what? You deserve it. You deserve it. Thank you so much for modding me up. I appreciate that. I try to emulate myself. Um, um, like you are a trailblazer, and I salute you out here in these YouTube streets and being a woman content creator and holding your own. You are so strong. And I ain't gaslighting. I want y'all to be on here talking about, oh, she was gaslighting PP. No, that's not what it is. Everybody know how I'm cut. Everybody know how I roll. Everybody know. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Everybody know how I roll. What I'm saying is this: as women, and y'all know this channel, you said no, don't be like me. Listen, this channel was originally designed to support women, and we're still having that platform to support women. I want to support women that look like us, sisters. Y'all know exactly what I'm saying. I wanna support women that look like us, and that's why I have been so transparent with my life from the very first show up until now, because I want little girls that look like us to see we go through the same thing, but we can move forward, that you're valuable, and see how we move, you know what I'm saying, and how we live. And that it's okay if you're dark skinned. It's okay if you got short hair. It's okay if you got a gap in your teeth. It's okay if you're plus size. It's okay. You're still valuable and you're worth loving, and you will be successful. So that was my message initially, and it still is. However, in 2025, we are rolling out new content to spice up the channel and make it more interesting for you all. We're going to be doing raffles. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be having candid conversations. My husband is coming on here. He's doing a new show. Y'all check out my community wall. Check out my shorts, and it's rolling out the graphics and the intros of the show. We're super excited, and I got a new co-host that's going to be coming on board. So the show is going to be spiced up and lighted up, and I'm still going to have my regular Queen to Queen platform supporting women. Which my regular Queen to Queen platform, my show for supporting mental health and women, and just the dynamics of men and women. I'm having a show Friday on gender wars. That's going to be at 6:00. So y'all come back and that's going to be really good. So yeah. So just going through and I said I'm going back to what I was talking about. In the industry, in this industry with all these powerful male black men, they have been allowed to run amok against our young black women and other women too as well, but predominantly our young black women. And nobody said anything. Yeah, they had those couple of cases with R. Kelly in 1994, 1995, and all that stuff. You understand? They knew that. However, they did nothing about it. They allowed these men to settle out of court with money and let them and out of court and let them continue on with their career and let them go ahead and still take advantage of more women. When R. Kelly settled that suit for 200 and some $1,000, he still was allowed to move in the industry that way, and he ended up taking advantage of 6 more women. And you had the proof back then. And like I said in that tape, he that tape circulated around all of the urban communities. Everybody had that tape. And so you can see him taking advantage and doing harm to this 13-year-old girl. And my thing is, you see this man on this tape, y'all should have picked him up and kept him and locked him up and threw away the key. Then, and if we as a society would have muted him back then this young chocolate black girl now would be walking around with herpes. He gave that girl herpes and ruined her life. And she wasn't like trying to get in the industry. She thought they were in a real relationship. And he gave her herpes. But this could have been prevented when he started messing with Aaliyah. You understand what I'm saying? But it was the society. It was the boys club. It was the hush hush. You understand what I'm saying? It was almost like the thing to do. It was a trend. And nobody said nothing. All these people around here, you want to get up on these shows and all of these documentaries and sit up here and cry and scream. And I feel sorry. I do. I cried with you. I understand it was a horrific thing to go through. But we as black women, we got to stand up for and advocate for ourselves. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. But people got taken back by the celebrity of him. And just trying to get on and just want to be out of your environment, out of the hood, and you just tagging along like that. That behavior has to stop. And then they just getting a little tap on the head, and you paying folks off left and right. What I love about Cassie's case, she got paid off, but she still testified. She still advocated. She still get to say her piece in May. You understand? And that's exactly what needs to happen. Just because you get a civil judgment, that don't mean you shouldn't be speaking out. You understand what I'm saying? You should not be speaking out. The industry is so corrupt, and it's been corrupt for years because of this one thing right here. Everybody was not being held accountable, because they were all doing the same thing. And nobody was holding nobody's accountable because they all were caught up in it. And they all powerful men in the industry. And so you don't tell on me, I won't tell on you. And nobody's being held accountable. They talking about why don't nobody say nothing, because they all were in it together. And if there's nobody in your clique, in your group to hold you accountable, you're going to think what you're doing is right and okay. And see the euphoria that these people place themselves in. If you're walking around a multi-million-dollar person every single day, you get a sense of euphoria that you are untouchable and that what you're doing is okay because it is within the industry and this is what is implied and this is how it goes. They don't live in the real world. I'm gonna tell you, when I was on tour, traveling the country, you know what I'm saying, for almost a year, you get in a certain lifestyle and you forget about your own lifestyle. You forget about the parameters and the barriers of the real world. Because people, you signing autographs, you performing before thousands, you living in nice hotels, you making good money, you traveling in planes. You understand what I'm saying? You doing business deals, you hanging around celebrities. You are in euphoric and you don't have a sense of reality and it's glamorous. So yeah, anything goes. A lot of stuff happened on that tour that I was on. People were sleeping with people. Marriages almost got broke up. People was contracting STDs. It was all type of craziness going on a gospel play tour. Do you hear what I say? And nobody was holding nobody accountable for nothing because we all making good money and we all doing this. You understand what I'm saying? I blew through thousands. Just living my best life. Because nobody held me accountable, said you better be financially stable, you better save some money, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm comparing that to the lives that these entertainers and these rappers live. And if you don't play the game, then they kick you out. Look at A. Marie. Look at Maya. All of these stars who were popular and their careers just abruptly stopped. They trying to stop Chris Brown, but Chris Brown's so bad. He's so talented, honey. He over in Africa tearing it up. Do you hear what I say? He gonna always be a force of nature. They can't do nothing with him. You understand what I'm saying? But they try to X him out because he ain't playing the game. You understand what I'm saying? But something happened. I'm gonna tell y'all, and y'all ride with me for a minute. Something happened within the industry that to cause this to happen. Because this rift and all of this revealing and all of this stuff, it wouldn't have never happened on such a grand scale if something that happened. It's getting ready. It must be some type of shift in matriarchy in the industry. It must be some type of shift in command. Somebody got pissed off. The real big dogs must have got pissed off, and they throwing them out to the fire. What Cat Williams say? All things come to light and come to truth in 2024. Now they want to hold this man accountable, and I'm talking about Diddy. When y'all knew he was doing all this stuff for decades, y'all participated. You went to the parties. He got you on tape. Something happened to allow this man to get raided and to get incarcerated. Because who giving them authority to walk up on Diddy and do that? They could have been did this a long time ago. Diddy's supposed to be in jail right now for shooting that lady in the face. Okay, let's be clear. He should have been in jail when he let all those people die at that concert at that school. It's so many offenses that this man has done and has gotten away with it because he's been allowed to get away with it because he was a go-between allegedly between the big money and everybody else. He was the go-between. But if something happened that these people discarded him, he was no longer needed. So he's on the outs. And so now he locked up. And now you got all of this proof rolling out. And I have to compare him to R. Kelly. You understand what I'm saying? Because the proof is so much evidence. It was so much evidence against both of these individuals. It's like they should have been locked up a long time ago. For real, for real. Y'all had the newspaper company that got the tape of him peeing on that 13-year-old baby. They had that tape for years and reported about it in the newspaper. He should have been locked up 20. Even he said it. Even R. Kelly said it a long time ago. He said they should have did this 20 years ago. Because he knew they had him. They had the tapes. But they allowed this man to go ahead and create I Believe I Can Fly. They allowed this man to go on tour. They allowed this man to collab with other stuff. They allowed him to have his career. Because you know why? They all was in cahoots on it. And if y'all don't believe sex trafficking is real, y'all better believe it. Somebody, hey Shawan, I said nothing but love your way, because guess what, beautiful, you deserve it. Somebody put up on TikTok a rap song that Maze did, and in the lyrics it was talking about the girl not 18, she's underage. He alluded to them, and then they were standing on a plane. In the video, it was a video produced. In the lyrics, he said that. I'm like, are y'all freaking kidding me? Like, for real. It's not that, we just found out that he liked this. They all knew it. Even down to the bodyguards. I love Gene Deal, but Gene Deal saw a lot. And he get much bread off of what he's seen. And he done created a book of talking about what he has seen. But if you see this, if you saw Cassie get beat, if you saw somebody get harmed by him, if you saw him, Why didn't you take your 7-foot self down to the police station and report it back then? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Everybody knew, from the parents, from the bodyguards, from the producers, from the mixer man in the studio, from the background singers. They all knew, because now you all coming out 20 years later on these documentaries crying and talking about it. You knew this 20 years ago. Just like when I talked about the parents of the victims of R. Kelly. You out here on these news conferences looking for your daughter, crying, getting sick, talking about you breaking out and throwing up, banging on doors. You knew your child was missing from day one when she was missing. You could have kicked in the doors then and had the news conference then. We ain't heard about you until this man was about to get locked up and was in the news media and you thought you would get a bag. He came out and said, R. Kelly came out and said himself that he had gave y'all money, paid y'all money, was sending y'all money every week. So y'all was getting bread, but you couldn't find your daughter. I'm going to need you to stop. I'm going to need you to stop. Now, the only parent that I truly believe is not Jocelyn, but the other girl, the dark-skinned girl. Because they were advocaatly looking for their child. They traveled to Chicago looking for her. They kept looking. They kept looking. You understand what I'm saying? It's just too much. It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much. You crazy. Y'all, they are crazy. I told the story. I remember Aaliyah, because you know Aaliyah used to go to my high school briefly. She was in the choir and I was in the choir. I remember her people coming up there talking to the teacher, trying to arrange schedule for her schooling because she had certain things coming up. You know what I'm saying? And then she was part of the Detroit All Sing Choir, so we got a chance to sing together on stage. I wasn't standing next to her singing, but however, I was in the same choir. So I remember all of that commotion around her. She had a team of people around her when she was first coming out in the game. I remember that. So what happened to that? Initially, she got all these people around her. Then all of a sudden, it's just her with R. Kelly. And she stayed with this man. And I know a little bit about the business. I'm not gonna claim to know everything about the business, but there's no way in the world I'm gonna send my 14-year-old child off to another state. And y'all correct me if I don't get all if I don't get all the particulars about the stories correct. But I'm not doing that with this man talking about you growing her career. You gonna grow both of our careers because I'm gonna be there with you. You're not gonna be with her at night by yourself. You wanna say, hey Joshua, I said nothing but love your way. You're not gonna be by yourself with this man. Once the studio time is over with, you coming back to the hotel with me. I'm not touring. You're not going on no tour by yourself because you underage. You 13 years old. That background singer said she opened up the door and he was in there having sex with her. Underage. Okay, did you go to the police? Did you call the police? So this is what I'm saying. They probably was in fear of not saying anything because that was part of the lifestyle. They just knew, oh yeah, that's all he got a 13-year-old kid. So my thing is this: you just stay on in the shadows. Then don't come out and try to get no check because you knew it 20 years ago. That's what I'm saying. And then the uncle, who was a bass player, kept on playing with R. Kelly, allegedly, knowing that he done slept with your niece, who was underage, and married her underage. And you kept getting a check from this man. My thing is this. I guess I'm a little bit too much of a moral compass because I'm not doing that. That's you ain't nobody protected her. No, all those adults around her did not protect Aaliyah. Did not protect them. And so I'm assuming that was the culture. So now you see 20 years later, all of these women who just was in the industry not being protected. But you out here talking and crying now. Ain't nobody saying like Jaguar White. She know everything about everybody, right? When she came out with Storm Moreau, and unfortunately, I guess they ain't friends no more. But when she came out with Storm Moreau, her story was so credible. It was so believable, which I don't think that she's lying about everything. I don't. I believe she's seen a lot. I was totally engaged, like, oh my God. It was like you knew it was happening, but now you know for sure. You know what I'm saying? And somebody, I mean, and she has continued to spill tea, alleged tea. She's continued to talk about the industry and talk about what was done to her and talk about what was done to prominent individuals. She's continued to do that. And I believe they're saying that Jay-Z may sue. I don't know. But somebody brought up a valid point about her the other day on YouTube. They were saying for her to have all this information, why had she came forward? Why haven't she said anything? And if she's seen all this and she directly saw it for herself and she directly witnessed it, are you complicit? And someone alluded to that she brought girls to certain individuals. See, my thing is, if you share too much information and you are so detailed in your orientation from this information, were you there? And if you were there and saw it, then why didn't you report it? It's fine that you are here telling us, but why didn't you go tell the authorities? Do you hear what I say? I'm a mandated reporter, and if I see anything strange on my kids or my kids come and tell me, I'm immediately starting to talk to. I'm following the chain of command of who I'm supposed to speak to. I'm doing it immediately because that's my responsibility. Do you hear what I say? So a lot of these people, now I do know when I watched the documentary when it first came out, they were saying how some individuals went to the news to the newspaper and they gave a story and stuff like that. I'm saying to myself, where did that go? Because it seemed like they sat on it for the longest up until the documentary came out, and then they all ran over there and got them $1,000 checks and told their story and cried. But you've been knowing this for years and decades. Even the boys, even the boys, even the boys, even the boys. You know, one group allegedly that is breaking my heart. B2K. Nobody is talking about B2K. Now, B2K, some of the boys came out and admitted that there was alleged essay going on around them that happened to them. My thing is, baby, look, you telling the wrong people. You telling us you need to go straight to the police, straight to the feds, and tell them, why haven't they done that? Is it out of fear? Or is it that they just know it ain't going to be happen? B2K, one of the most talented groups that was around. All of them are stars. Do you understand? One of them, I don't know if it's Fizz or somebody, one of them is suffering like mental challenge of what has happened to them. It don't make no sense. The industry is crazy. And my thing is, I don't want to be famous in the music industry. I don't want to get no hit. I don't want to you know, you used to be like, oh, I wish I got a record deal. You know what I'm saying? No, not like this. It's crazy. And the big wigs and the people that's making the big money, we don't even know who they are because they're not seen. They're not seen. You know, now we finding out that Diddy don't own Ciroc. He was just the face of Ciroc. So who owns Ciroc? You know, but they know if they put Diddy face out here, all of us gonna go. Well, I don't drink, but they know black folks gonna go buy that Ciroc and tear their liver up and become alcohol. You know, it's a whole agenda to this thing. You understand what I'm saying? You know who ate? You know who ate? For sure ain't talking? J-Lo. And they said, allegedly, they said the fans interviewed her and interviewed her husband. Is it soon to be ex-husband? Because then she married him again. But ain't they about to get a divorce again? I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna pray the spirit of divorce off that woman because she get married and divorced so much. I don't know what's going on with her. But yeah, allegedly she's quiet as a mouse, and they said allegedly she may be on some of the tapes. Whatever it is, there's evidence to support it, because if it wasn't, he would have been out by now. But they're not gonna let him go. I think they're gonna take this all the way. But you know what? I said it's sad. We thank God it's happening, but it's sad that it took this long, because there's so much proof. It's so much proof. And then you gotta think about, he done made his children complicit. His children, they try to put cases on his son. It's just crazy. All of this for fame and fortune. All of this for fame, fortune, and power and control. And it don't make no sense. They show video of one of Diddy's parties, and allegedly you can look and see that there were children there, like young girls. It's not no, oh, you wonder their age. You can look and see that these children were underage. And my thing is, where are the parents? Where are the parents? They're saying that some of these children came from the system, like from foster care, and that they even alleged that child services was somehow linked to this. And I don't think it would be mainstream. I think it may have been an individual there, a worker who probably said, y'all want to go to a DD pod, because there were children there. Because I seen it for myself. I saw the video myself floating around, and I said, and they showed two little brown girls on like a balcony thing, and you could tell that these children, what they had to be no older than 14, allegedly. And I'm saying to myself, where are the parents? Where are the parents? Now with R. Kelly, I for sure was saying, where are the parents? Where are the parents? You know where you dropped your kids off. Go back and get them. With Jocelyn, they had left her so long there with R. Kelly that she became of age. She became a legal age and did not go back. One girl, the girl that allegedly that was in the video where he defecated on, stayed with him until she was a grown woman close in her 30s, brainwashed, and allegedly became a facilitator of trafficking these girls across America and across the country for R. Kelly, allegedly. She stayed there all that time as a kid. Where was her parents? Where were her siblings? Where were her family? You just know she there, and you already know what this man's about. This done came out publicly, and you still won't just leave her there. This is what I'm saying. But you won't hear on this documentary screaming and hollering and crying about they victims. Nobody was there to protect them, because guess what? They all was in on it. They was all in cahoots. Do you hear what I say? Do you hear what I say? With Dominique, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. With Dominique's mom, she went and got her child. I don't know what conversations were had to her previously or how she got there. But I do know, I think they said she was actively looking for her, but she would be moved around. So with her story, I kind of sympathize with her a little bit. But there's always a intuition, and there's always a little gateway before things become real serious. So for me as a parent, I'm gonna have to travel with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just drop you off with somebody so somebody can groom your career across the country. And even though, okay, say you believe what he's saying and you go ahead and do it. There's still a little gateway. So like the first month, the 2 month, 3 month, I'm gonna come and get you. I'm sorry, I'm coming to get you. You understand what I'm saying? It's like the parents should have been more diligent, and they should have been more serious, and they should have been blinded by this man's celebrity. Because now them girls is messed up. Dominique is messed up. She had to get therapy. She had to get therapy. She was messed up by that traumatic experience. And these people did that and sung for the Super Bowl and made all type of albums, and we was over here hustling to them, and they in here torturing little kids. Sick to my stomach. Do you hear what I say? So when they come out with this Puff Daddy and Jay-Z stuff, and I'm seeing all this stuff, I'm saying to myself, whoever, so they all need to go to jail. And then you all, everybody coming out, protecting themselves. I remember one time when I seen this and I heard this. Why didn't you say nothing? But everybody jumping on the bandwagon. Just like that girl from oh God, what's that girl group from MTV? Her name Don. What's the group? What's the name of the group? Danity Kane. She's suing Diddy now. Because I guess they were scared. They got the courage now. And I don't want y'all to think I'm victim blaming over here. I'm not. I'm not victim blaming. I'm not. But she spoke of an incident where she saw him slap and knock out Cassie sitting at the table. I would have went directly to the police then. I would have told her, Cassie, we getting up out of here. Let me tell you something. That's one thing I don't play with is domestic violence. Because I watched my mother get that way. I was 4 years old. I'll never forget it. And I saw her get beat. And I made up in my mind that would never happen to me. I would never allow myself to live in fear of a man. You understand what I'm saying? And a neighbor came to me and they said so-and-so is getting beat up. And it was a friend of mine. And I hear I'm a woman, but something rose up in me. You hear what I say? I walked up them stairs and I knocked on that door and I called her name. I said, come on out. No, it's okay, Miss So-and-so. I think I was Miss Daniel then. No, Miss Daniel, it's okay. No, don't. I said, no, come on out. Now, man, this man is 6 foot. I said, but it was the adrenaline. I said, come on out. No, you come on out. She came out and I walked in and I shut the door behind me. House toe up. Ain't no telling what he was doing in there, throwing her I don't know where. I said, let me tell you something. I said, the next time you put your hands on her, it's going to be some furniture moving up in here. I'm a firm believer. Any man that's weak enough to put their hand on a female and beat them, they weak inside their pumps. You hear what I say? I looked him, and it wasn't even out of eye because he was taller than me. The next time you put your hands on her, it's going to be a problem. And I walked her right on downstairs in my apartment. She was like, thank you, no, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Listen, that's how I roll. So I know I could have never been in no situation, in no type of scenarios like that, because I would have went straight to the police. I most definitely would have been collecting no checks, sitting on TV crying 20 years later about it. No, sir. And it's women out here talking about they was underground and tunnels and all this stuff. And a lot of people like, I don't believe, but it's one girl in particular I believe. Because you can see the fear in her eyes even today. When I can't call her name, but she talked about how they was trafficking underground and through tunnels, and you had to be led underneath the tunnels, and you wouldn't believe who went to these parties underneath it. I believe it, and they said that the blueprints show allegedly that Diddy got tunnels underneath his house that connect to other houses in that neighborhood. I believe it. I believe it. Everybody ain't lying. Lil Rob wasn't lying. He had picture proof. He had picture proof. That's what kills me. He had picture proof. And people still was talking about him and clowning him. But he had picture proof. If you go get the court document papers, and I'm quite sure most of y'all have seen it or went to somebody's shoulder, it's picture proof. And you got to think all these people around him that keep coming to these type of parties, y'all all know what's going on, but y'all all leave and go back to y'all jobs in the industry, and don't say nothing but for years. And y'all know that these women being taken advantage of. You know that these people being drugged. Just like the bodyguard, it was another bodyguard. Now, you know it's been a couple that been out here. Gene Deal did another one, and then one more that's recognizable. But there was another one that came out. And I hadn't seen him before. He said that his job was to bodyguard this specific supermodel. He said that he bodyguarded her and went to a Diddy party, and the girl was giving something and she almost passed out. And he took her out. He said he almost got into an altercation because they didn't want him to take her out, but he did. I'm like, you just not coming out and saying something? Like, y'all killing me with this. But a lot of times people be in fear for their life and all that stuff. But you can always report anonymously. That's how bad some people want to be in a lifestyle. Do you understand what I'm saying? I ain't know nothing, Scorpio mama. You hear what I say? I ain't never witnessed I ain't never been, but I'm talking about what I've seen on YouTube. But I'm saying I ain't know nothing like on the road, you know what I'm saying? I knew someone, I know this one was sleeping with somebody, but it wasn't nothing like illegal. It wasn't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I never seen no underage stuff going on the road when I went on the road. I ain't never seen no stuff like because I would have reported it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen no violence and nobody getting beat or hit because I would have said something. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, just my little glimpse. And the killing part about it, Scorpio Mama, the killing part about it was I was on a gospel plate tour. Do you hear what I say? A gospel plate tour. You understand what I'm saying? And it was so much sinning going on that show. I could just imagine a concert, or you know what I'm saying? And I was so naive, Scorpio Mama. I came straight from the church on the road. You know what I'm saying? Just traveling with all these different ones. And I just thought because it's a gospel show, I literally thought this. Don't laugh at me. I thought because it was a gospel stage play that everybody on there was saved and we were just doing a play to try to get people to come to church. That's how I was naive. So you can imagine my surprise when I'm seeing y'all favorite famous gospel singer cussing folks out. I was done. I was like, oh my God. Oh, I was so I was so naive. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm like, I can't believe she just did that. You know what I'm saying? Two famous gospel celebrities cussing each other out. I'm like, oh my, I couldn't believe it. Until one day she said, honey, listen, I'm not no gospel performer. She said, I'm a gospel, she's a gospel something singer. She said, I'm a gospel entertainer. So that means she takes on the persona as a gospel person and just entertain this demographic and makes a living. But she ain't necessarily tapped in for real, for real. So that opened up my eyes. Another famous gospel artist where everybody was walking around here praise dancing to propositioned me for sex on the road. You understand what I'm saying? It blew my mind. I could not believe it. I was like, where am I at? My pastor called me from Michigan. I was on the road. In some kind of way, she got a hold of me. She called me. She said, God said it's AIDS on the road. To keep yourself. She said, God, I said, you ain't got to say no more. You hear what I say? It was a whole new world for me. I ain't lying. It was a whole new world for me. It was a whole new world for me. People cheating on their wife. It was just crazy. So you just can imagine if that atmosphere was fused with alcohol and drugs and hallucinogens. You understand what I'm saying? But the killer part is we were all adults. I could not even imagine a situation like that with young child stars. Look at Justin Bieber, allegedly. Whatever happened to him, and we would never know the totality of it unless he gives his testimony, it scarred him for real. That boy came severely depressed. But I see he has made his way to a church and he is, trying to tap into Christianity, and he seems to be a little bit more lighter, a little bit more happier. But the dark things that have happened in this industry, a lot of more people know. And it just lets you know that our children are not protected, but we love to be entertained by them. And you got to understand when these people come out in the summertime, when new albums, these new stars come out in the summertime, when and they drop new music, and It's all catchy and we all dancing to it in the club. Half these kids is like 16, 17. Look how young Chris Brown came out. And you had grown women when he came out, grown women lusting after him. That's the psyche of society. You understand what I'm saying? Look how young that boy was when he came out and how women was throwing their draws. It's ridiculous. But that's the industry. They make them be grown up before they age to sell records back in that day. Now, nobody's really selling music. It's like you either gonna pay to download it. You know what I'm saying? But still, look how young Beyonce was when she first came out. And you have to be reminded. It's almost like we got to be reminded that this child was, what, 15 when she came out? But they promoted her and packaged her up like she was a grown woman. Singing songs about stuff she shouldn't have been singing about. Dressing like she was a grown woman. Promoting sex. So it's already a sex-infused situation in industry. They already looking at her like that because that's how they packaging her up and presenting her. And initially, her dad was her manager. So you think that's okay? This is what I'm saying. But if you want to be in that industry, I'm assuming that's how you got to be. So it's expected. You got to live over here talking about AJ number AJ number the number going down a number the thing. A kid. It's ridiculous. And my point is, they knew this back then. Every grown folk, every grown person around them knew it. Even the background singers was young and underage. And men are men. Men are men. They were not protected. They were not protected. Were not protected. They was not protected. Just was not protected. You understand what I'm saying? And so every adult, and who was that? R. Kelly's was that R. Kelly's brother or the uncle of Aaliyah? One of them were on there, and they on the documentary they just broke down and cried. See, that was that guilt eating them up because they knew what was going on, and they didn't do nothing. His brother act like he was advocating for him. And the reason why I'm going back and talking about it is because I went through my channel, y'all, and I saw some of my old shows. This show kind of really stuck out because I was just going through my channel. Since it's the new year coming up, and I'm revamping and seeing what I'm going to do differently. You know what I'm saying? But that show really kind of stuck out to me because I'm saying to myself, you knew then, and you was well enough grown then that you could have said something that would have prevented the hurt and harm of these other women that came behind them. Cassie would have never been beaten in that hotel if the bodyguards wouldn't have said nothing back way back then. If he wasn't locked up then. Y'all knew this man had a problem with his temper in college when he allegedly beat his girlfriend with a belt. And they go around with this mentality, who gonna check me? You know what I'm saying? They paying everybody off. But guess what? Guess what? I'm so glad that God sees all and that God is the one that is really in control. Because the Bible says you reap what you sow. This day was gonna always come. I wish it would have came sooner. You know what I'm saying? I wish it would have came sooner. And then silence is a monster. Sometimes as a child, you can be gripped with so much fear that you don't say nothing and it just goes on and on and on and on. I know what that is. I lived it. I know what it is. That boy from B2K, you could tell he was gripped with fear because he could barely even talk about it. And then sometimes the embarrassment of another man taking advantage of you as a black man, they'll keep it just like your boyfriend Ray and Day Day and them. They keep going to jail. They go to jail. They never tell you about what really happens in jail. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna talk about it because it's that fear of demasculation. You know what I'm saying? So they hold on to it and they're quiet about it. and they want to be seen as a man. And see, the industry took advantage of all of this and just had their way until the government got tired, or until somebody didn't get paid off, or until somebody didn't get their money, and now they want to police and they want to persecute and they want to throw people in jail now because something changed. And ain't that somebody found out and all of a sudden now they know? They've been knowing. They've been watching these people. Reports have already been coming in to FBI and into news channels and papers. They've been knowing this stuff. But something happened to where now somebody got to get locked up for this. And it started with R. Kelly. So what y'all think? Y'all think Jay-Z? Do y'all think Jay-Z is next? Do y'all think? Because I mean, he really close to the fire. He's really close to this Diddy stuff. They really just about trying to hang this thing on him. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all think he next? Because if he is next, this gonna be a big elephant to chew. Because he's attached to Beyonce. And Beyonce right now got her grip on the nation. And do y'all think that Beyonce is being handled? Do y'all think that Jay-Z allegedly is her handler? And I want to say this. Why did nobody say nothing when he was dealing with Foxy Brown allegedly when she was underage? Why everybody? It's amazing how people come out with all these stories. I remember this. I remember, but where was the protection then? Queen, why you running your mouth? Why you so passionate about this? So I don't know if y'all know this, and I've said this from time to time, and I know people don't believe it, but it is true. I don't have no reason to lie. So y'all, you all know that Biggie Smalls is my cousin. Did I go to his house and did he pay my bills? No, he didn't do none of that. Was I directly in his immediate family? Did we have a relationship? No. But we blood cousins. He showed up to a family reunion once. And y'all hear CMA all the time joking about uh he said that joke on stage from the side, because I played Odessa, he played Uncle Willie. He said, from the side you look like Big Smalls. He didn't even know that was my cousin for real until I told him. You understand what I'm saying? And it was a big old joke. You know, it is what it is. I wouldn't offend nothing like that. But that was a sad commentary. That story right there. And every time someone do a documentary about it or dive into the story, it saddens me. This music industry is treacherous. It's treacherous. He's a Wallace. I'm a Wallace. We're Wallaces. We the Detroit Wallaces. That's what we got. That's how we do in our family. Then we got the Pennsylvania Wallaces, where that's the home base, the headquarters, where all the Wallaces are. We the Detroit Wallaces. You got the New York Wallaces. You got the North Virginia Timbers. You know, we got a big family. But it's a trip. And my whole take on that industry is that nobody held nobody accountable for nothing. And they didn't have a conscience. You didn't have a conscience. You didn't have a conscience. And you know, one person that I don't believe out of this whole R. Kelly Diddy stuff stories, I do not believe R. Kelly's wife. I believe what happened to her happened, but I do not believe that she just utterly didn't see no girls and didn't see nothing and didn't see none of that. And I never saw it. He kept me in the room all the time, locked up. I didn't see anything because you got pictures of y'all outside in the living room barbecuing. You got pictures of y'all doing stuff. So you came out of the room sometime. But she never saw nothing. She didn't hear nothing. She never saw no girls. He kept us separate. You ain't seen. You had to have seen something. Okay, let's be clear. Let's be clear. And now this week, a story came out that they're saying that allegedly R. Kelly's daughter came out and said that he allegedly essayed her, his own daughter. I said to myself, if this true, I'm done. Just don't. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Your own daughter, because you know they were strange, and I guess people was wondering why don't she like her father, and I was assuming it was because of how he treated the mom. You know what I'm saying? But a story came out. You guys can research it for yourself that she made an accusation allegedly against her father. And I said, if that's true, lock him up and throw away. He ain't never getting out. You don't deserve to ever get out. You don't deserve to get out. This man had a sexual addiction problem, a lust problem for years, and he needed help. But it took a lot of people to enable him, and a lot of people to allow that team to go, and that's why they tried to get him on the RICO charges because they said it was a enterprise. It ran like an enterprise. People making trips and flying little girls across the country, campers allegedly, and all this crazy stuff. And you see these little girls getting in these cars and buses and planes and stuff. And you the adult that booked the trip, and you mean to tell me you go to sleep at night knowing this? Like, no way. No way. No way. No way. So whenever you see a child in distress or molest or SA or going through, know that there's an adult who knows about it. Know that there's an adult who knows about it and is doing nothing. Do you hear what I say? Because you can't move like that in the limelight like that, move like that with no help. Because there's somebody around you 24 hours a day because you're a celebrity. So where are those people? Instead of you sitting up allowing another person to interview you for a check, you should have been sitting up in the police station allowing the police and the feds to interview you for free. And they were allowed to do this for years. And guess what? There's more. My prayer is that they all be revealed. Everyone in the industry that ever took advantage of a kid or participated in a party where you know there's kids, all of them need to be revealed. And the killer part is it probably was so many heavy hitters up in there. They probably negotiating right now, trying to settle right now, trying to get NDAs in place right now to protect their careers, and they ain't thinking about the children's lives they ruin. I want somebody, a big A-lister. I want somebody to come up and stand up and tell the truth. That's my prayer. That it did happen. I did see this. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, everybody not lying. That one girl, she was an escort, and the one that's going around here now circulating on people's shows said that she was with a prince and he took her to a freak off, and she was telling her story. And her story, it was so detailed that I'm apt to believe it. And but she ain't saying no names. But I know she's circulating because she's getting paid, allegedly. My thing is, honey, walk your tail to somebody lawyer and a police officer and give names and go ahead and tell the truth. Because it's a possibility, a slim possibility that these monsters may get away. And all the Cassie work will be in vain. Well, I don't think Diddy gonna get off. I don't think that because they won't. He like a sacrifice. It's like almost a given that he going because they want him to be up in there. Just like Einstein, and then what's the other one that's that the white guy that's I can't remember his name. Man, I can't remember his name. He no, he's in jail and stuff like that. And the lady Gillespie, she's in prison too. You know what I'm saying? And that really kind of gave us a glimpse of the organization, the organization of s trafficking. I mean that documentary that was on Netflix about them was so the housing was so elaborate. They had a whole system. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, oh my God. And then you flew to the island and you did what you had to do. Who was that? Prince Edward. Is it Edward? Allegedly don't flew over there. They got pictures of allegedly our president Clinton over there. A lot of stars flew over there. They all knew. And here you are, and they got pictures of Prince Edward allegedly touching this girl behind. They all knew that these young girls was to be taken advantage. They did it themselves. Nobody said nothing. They all knew. So what happened that this man and I mean all these powerful people, you entertaining with these young girls and you still not protected. That man was protected until he was not. And then all of a sudden he died in a prison, in a jail where there's nothing to hang yourself from. But he allegedly hung himself with torn up sheets of his uniform from his bed where you can stand up and touch the top of it. You can't even hang from it. So and there's nothing else in this room that he can hang from. So what happened? See, it's like, oh, that's what we gonna tell you. You have to be boo boo the fool. You gotta be boo boo the fool. And so they said allegedly that's what Puffy is concerned about. That they're gonna get him inside before all of the real secrets come out. Because if Puffy got enough sense to make tapes and blackmail people allegedly, don't you think he got enough sense to have a plan B in place in case he get locked up? Don't y'all think that? Don't you know? I believe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're gonna let this case see the light of day. I honestly don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm hopeful. I know for sure they got enough evidence, or he would still be in jail. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know when the feds come, they done did their case a whole 6 months before they even come to your door. They done locked in the case. But I don't think the case gonna see the light of day. If it do, then they really want him in jail. But I don't know if he gonna make it. I don't know if he gonna make it. I hope so. I'm praying that God will protect him. I am because I don't want to see nobody, be unalive. I don't want to see that. But it's a lot of important people attached to this case, y'all. It's a lot of important people attached to this case, and it's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And Hollywood has literally shut up. The news even barely a report about it. TMZ should be all over this. Every now and then, every other day or so, they'll say a little bit of something. But the way they was on R. Kelly, oh my God, it didn't make no sense. So why aren't you on Puff Daddy when you know you got insiders in the police department and you know what I'm saying? That should be like tearing this man apart. This should be the biggest story of the year for them. But they ain't acting like it. You got to ask yourself why. Conspiracy, right? So that's what I've been spending. Like I've been on vacations. As y'all can see, I've been on vacation and I've had time to look at this here YouTube, as y'all can see. And so Tuesday, we're gonna be having hot topics. And I don't know if I'm gonna be talking a little bit more about this, but I'm talking about it now because I went through my channel and a lot of stories kind of brung it up to my memory. But however, tomorrow, Tuesday, we talking about Tyler Perry new movie, which was phenomenal. And I'm gonna get my takes on that. And don't y'all talk about me when I get my takes on that. I'm saying the movie was phenomenal, it was good. But y'all, I want y'all to, because I don't want to spill the beans of I don't want to, open up the show now. But all I'm gonna say is this: go back, look at his other movies, and then go back and look at this movie. And then we're gonna talk about it Tuesday. Okay? We're gonna talk about that, and then we're talking about Shay and Fabo, and which is like, girl, can you see this man a mile away? But anyway, we're gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna talk about we're talking about Ray J, because he is interested to me in his antics. I'm really intrigued by him. So we're gonna be talking about that Tuesday at 6:00. So y'all meet me here on this channel at 6:00. Guys, share my videos out. Tell somebody to subscribe because we want to get monetized this year. This is the year. This is my year, guys. Okay, to get monetized, and I need y'all to help me to do that. Okay. All right. So go back. I'll give y'all a challenge. Go back. Look at my shorts. Any short that y'all really like, share it out if you can. Or my community post. Any posts y'all really like, can you just share it out? Okay. That will I'll be greatly appreciative of that. All right, so guys, I will see y'all Tuesday. Remember, keep this dating y'all mad, January the 10th at 6:00. My boo thing will be on this channel. And guess what, guys? The topic is sex. Any questions that y'all want, you all can you know what? Since I made that flyer live, it should be on my channel already. It should be saying upcoming. If you go in the comments, you can leave your questions that you want to ask, and we will answer them. Okay. All right. So the topic is sex, and within marriage relations. And we're gonna have a good time tonight. So y'all get your popcorn. Friday at 6:00. We're doing Queen to Queen. We're talking about marital genders and gender wars. And then Tuesday we doing hot topics. So so Queen to Queen gonna be popping this week. Y'all come out and y'all support the show. All right, guys. So I'm gonna let y'all go because I'm quite sure y'all tired of hearing me talk and all this good stuff. I am going to let y'all go. All right. And so I'm gonna tell y'all, this is the order of the queen of do something nice for somebody. If it ain't nothing but opening up the car door for somebody, if it ain't nothing but paying for somebody groceries, if it's nothing but just smiling at somebody or encouraging somebody, because guess what? You reap what you sow, and it's gonna come back to you tenfold. All right, this is your Queen Kayleen, and I'm saying bye bye.